There's one stock that is very close to its breakout level. It is a space stock. It's not SpaceX. It does have a ton of room for growth. I'll tell you the ticker right now. It's RKLB, Rocket Lab. And I think based on the chart and based on the fundamentals that we dive into, you're going to agree that this is the stock to focus on right now. Let's take a look at the chart. This is what is forming, building up right now. Just recently had Q2 earnings and held on those Q2 earnings, which is a good sign. A lot of companies did not hold after Q2 earnings this season. So this is the level right here. $51 is pretty important. $53.50 is the next level, and those are important numbers to keep abreast of. If we zoom way out, there's nothing at all going back all the way to 2021. That was the last time the stock had a big run, up until last September. So this is the time. The last 18 months have been huge for Rocket Lab. And now we're looking like there's another time to jump in. Back here, it would have been somewhere around October, and then this breakout happened in June. But even these times here, this was not perfectly easy. It did come back slightly after earnings. And here in June, this was not perfectly easy either. It did test a couple times before going. So that's why I'm giving you these levels. And if $51, if $53.50 gets broken, and you are keeping a watch on your position, you have a very, very big opportunity for a high reward, low risk opportunity into the 60s and beyond. So that's the fundamental reason I'm talking about it. If you're interested in the fundamentals, I don't blame you. I generally lead with the technicals, because what the technicals often do is tell us what is happening, not what's theoretically going to happen. But I do respect that there are reasons that a stock is going up. So let's look at some information about Rocket Lab. Let's see what other tickers are similar to Rocket Lab. And the one that is often talked about is Joby Aviation. And this is what Joby looks like right now. Not as good a performance after Q2 earnings, which is why the focus is on Rocket Lab right now. And let's take a look at what that earnings was that kept Rocket Lab up. Well, 150 million, which is up almost 40% year over year. They did have a loss, but they did beat the estimate, which was, well, actually, they did not beat the estimate. But I think the big deal here is this 144 million. This is certainly a growth stock opportunity. It is a publicly traded startup per se, and revenue beat the forecast. This is the bottom line. I believe it is similar to their guidance for the next quarter. So that's promising as far as how the earnings are going to go for Q3. And they do have this acquisition of a payload company. They are a space company, so this is in the right arena. This is a large number, 275 million. But they also have a lot of money coming in terms of contracts. So it's a big deal to be a company with hundreds of millions of revenue that also is getting government contracts. There's a lot of opportunity in this space because SpaceX got adopted by the government as its primary space launch producer. And so there's interest in seeing who is going to be the next SpaceX. And Rocket Lab is fitting the bill so far. This is a major caveat. They are focusing on reusable rockets. That was a huge moment for SpaceX. So the stock's up a ton. And I think this movement in the stock is based on the absolute monster performance-wise that SpaceX has been. There's not a way to publicly buy SpaceX, but there was a vehicle, DXYZ, that had a ton of euphoria when it first came out back in the first part of 2024 last year, and again about a year later, a little less than a year later. Has that price stayed up? No. But am I saying you want to own Rocket Lab for the next year? I'm not saying that. What we do on this channel is we look for stocks that have a good opportunity in the next month, few months, maybe 6 months, and occasionally a full year or more where you get those capital gains benefits. So if that's what you're looking for in terms of opportunity, I believe Rocket Lab fits the bill. And this base provides a great way to get in, risk very little, and possibly have a big move to the upside. Now, we talked about Joby. There is some positives as far as buying Joby over Rocket Lab. Again, the charts don't bear that out. The charts say that Rocket Lab has more buying interest right now from smart money, from big money. But Joby is showing signs of strong competition, and we often compare the two because they're both in next-gen transportation, okay? Vertical takeoff aircraft as well as rocket launches, and as we touched on above, Rocket Lab is working on a reusable rocket. So it is in the same breath as SpaceX, and that's why there's so much demand for this stock, because there's no way to buy SpaceX publicly besides the DXYZ investment holding company. Now, there are a couple of other tickers that are related. Of course, there are risks. But again, if SpaceX could deal with regulatory issues, Rocket Lab can deal with it. SpaceX paved the way. I wouldn't say that you want to invest in these other companies that are in the same category as Rocket Lab, but you do want to keep an eye on VSAT. They are definitely going to be in the same discussions with NASA. And so if NASA is warm to VSAT, if VSAT continues to grow and show stock price growth like it has, Rocket Lab's going to follow. VSAT is at an okay spot. It is above the 200-day moving average, and it is holding levels from after earnings, so it had a great run. But if we zoom out a little bit and say, okay, it's above the 200-day moving average by 150%, then we start to say, is there a better way to buy a space company that isn't so overbought? And the answer, I think, is Rocket Lab, which is up about 75%, so about half as extended. So that's the argument for Rocket Lab. There is a tight risk-reward opportunity. You do have to be careful with any stock that's up a lot from the 200-day. I use the 200-day because it's used by funds, whether they be quant funds, whether they be technical funds that don't involve computerized buying. The more people look at a certain indicator, the more it is self-fulfilling. So with all that said, this is the stock. The reason is SpaceX isn't investable, and the time to buy is now, and the levels are $51 and $54. If you like analysis like this, hit that subscribe button so that you get notified on future stock ideas. If you want to get more help with stocks from a verified $9 million day trader, go to AikaidoTradingMethod.com. That link is down in the description. Aikido is a martial art where you use your opponent's strength against them. I hope you liked the video. I hope you manage your own risk. This is not financial advice. I do hope to see you again for more stock ideas. Take care.